And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
I'm recording this right after the Thanksgiving holidays, and one of the things that I traditionally do on Thanksgiving is play party games. Party games are games that are great when you have a group of family together or a bunch of people who aren't, necessarily wanting to play these heavy strategic games. And it's like playing party games, and that's great. So I'm always on the lookout for good party games. Well, I have here a copy of Consensus Movie Edition. I also have a copy of Consensus Junior Edition. And since both games are basically the same game, just two different genres, I thought I'd point them out at the same time. Now, I think these are good games. They're not the best party games I've played, but they're very good ones. But I will mention that several people that I played these with have declared them the best party games they've ever played. Basically, it's a mix of apples to apples and a bit of cooperation. Let's just look at it and you'll see why. Here's a copy of the board. The bottom one is the Junior Edition. Up here is the Movie Edition of Consensus. And at the beginning of each game, you're going to put out on the Junior Edition 10 nouns, and on the other one, 10 movies. So let's say, for example, here I have The Hunt for October, Groundhog Day, It's a Wonderful Life, Lawrence of Arabia, $1 Million Baby, National Lampoon's Vacation, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Ghostbusters, Gremlins, Independence Day. But there's a very wide selection of movies that are chosen, from modern ones to classic movies, from really stupid comedies to tense dramas. The nouns for the kids are a whole bunch of different things. Here we got outer space, pillow, angel, pizza, United States of America, school, my daddy, monster, circus, Nemo. And these are basically just a wide variety of things. Some of them are things that kids are very familiar with because they deal with it. Others, like Hercules or the Great White Shark, are things that they've heard of and sound interesting. And so basically these are placed in the middle of the table. Each player is given a set of voting cards. These voting cards are numbered from 1 to 10, and they match that player's color. They then take a piece of their color and place it on the starting spot of their space, and the game begins. In each round of the game, a voting card, or a question card, is turned over. For example, in the movie category, you might get this question: which one of these following movies would make the best first date movie? So then players look at the different movies. Which one of these movies would make the best first date movie? Would it be Lawrence of Arabia, $1 Million Baby, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Ghostbusters? Which one of these? And of course, what you're trying to do here is you're trying to pick one that everybody else will match. The questions for the Junior Edition, not necessarily a question, it's actually just an adjective, like pleasant. So which one of these nouns makes you think of pleasant? Is it outer space, pillow, angel, pizza, etc., etc.? And so everyone secretly picks their number of each. You notice each one of these is numbered, places it face down, and they flip over all these numbers at the same time. Whichever number has gotten the most votes. Let's say, for example, for the best movie for the first date, and everyone picked Ferris Bueller's Day Off, or 4 people picked that one out of 8 people. Then those people all get to move their piece forward 1 space on the track, and another round starts. However, before the next round starts, if anyone has voted for a specific movie, those movies, or noun in the children's edition, those are pulled off and new ones are put in their place. So if you vote for a movie, you're not going to see it again. So you can't keep voting for the same movie time and time again, because if you vote for a movie, it's gone. And I like that idea very much so. And so what you're doing with the kids is trying to think of what other people would think that this is a pleasant noun, or nervous, or lucky, or perfect, or annoying, or rough, or noisy, or creepy, or peaceful. Or for the movies, if a typical man were held at gunpoint and he had a choice of seeing one of the following movies prior to being killed, which would it be? Or which movie does the person feel the most sympathy for the main character? Or which movie requires the lowest IQ to understand? And there's lots of debate and questions and laughter afterwards, and eventually one or more people will get to the end of the board, and then they are the winner. This is the kind of party game that will get people really interactive with one another. They're going to sit there and say, how could you pick, My Big Fat Greek Wedding for a movie where you cared about the main character? I didn't care, and there'll just be this this talk afterwards. The movie one, it says 17 plus. It's for adults. The movies inside are really not kids movies, although there are some movies that could be considered kids movies. The junior edition, the kids really enjoy it. Kids enjoy it, and the teenagers enjoy it, even though maybe teenagers might not, my daddy, but definitely they can still think about these things. They still deal with most of the adjectives and nouns. And again, all the debates. How can you possibly think that? There's some problems with a game like this in which you have to be careful of some cheaters, trying to pick the same thing as someone else, giving each other signals, or just, number 5. That sort of thing's not allowed. But other than that, it's a very free-flowing, light game that I've had success with every time that I brought it out. It reminds me of other party games. The word party games, out of the box, makes a very similar word party game, which you're doing the same thing, just trying to match with words. But this is a good one. I think I just recommend it. Get it now.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.